I know Charlie might have his diehard fans who truly do appreciate him, but let's be honest here. The views he pulls are not from the value of his incredible content, reading an article written by somebody else and occasionally throwing in a weird, out-of-place anecdote about his butthole. So the tie is for social media, but I guess the shirt is just the slop shirt. Now, that's such a shame. I like this shirt. I don't want it to just be the slop shirt. So boy, did I get a lot of interesting comments on my last video talking about the SlopTuber epidemic, but one in particular really summarized the difference in mentality between myself and the average consumer of slop content who goes so far as to defend its existence. If you know so much about the algorithm, why don't you have a following like Charlie? You build a following, make an impression on people, and they'll watch you poop in a bucket. And given how the YouTube incentive structure works, I have to say, you're not wrong. Once you are declared to have clout, YouTube will continuously shove your slop into the eyeballs of all of its waiting viewers, as long as you're willing to post every day and min-max the titles and keywords associated with your video so you can press as many algorithmic pressure points as possible simultaneously. Or just steal a relevant video and post a lazy reaction to it. That also works. So let's talk about it. This infection of slop that's destroying YouTube. My name is Richard, and I am so glad that you could be here today. So, YouTube's algorithm and incentive structure are driving content creators to make more frequent, lower quality content. That's true across the board. But the true SlopTubers are those who lean into the skid and further propagate that incentive structure, help normalize it, by actively defending it and clogging the recommended page with daily, low-effort uploads. And especially when they stretch it out to try to fit in mid-roll ads, leaning on the fact that they already did the hard work years ago to actually build the following, and now, they'll watch them poop in a bucket. And I want to break this video down into two different parts. Why this content is bad for the content creators, and why it's bad for YouTube as a platform. I guess technically three, but it's not, okay. Three, we'll have a separate section. Why is this bad for viewers? The content sucks. Because the content sucks. It does. You'd be way better off actually watching that Asmongold content, or actually reading whatever article that Charlie is reading for the sake of his video, or watching whatever coverage or response videos people actually made who are involved in whatever situation is crazy. It's never worth watching the video made by some middleman. It hurts the original content creators if there's someone trying to monetize their content, even if it's like a news station who's just trying to get information out there, or some low-budget writer trying to get their blog post up into the algorithm of Google. And it's bad for us because it normalizes this weird sense in which we're taking other people's opinions through a filter, and we can't just take it ourselves and just form our own opinions on it. It just slowly eats away at our ability to truly have an opinion on a situation that may or may not be crazy. So why is slop bad for content creators? Well, content creators fall into one of two categories: those who don't want to make slop, and those who do, and who actively build their platforms, their channels around propagating slop to a certain degree and almost automate it to the point that they're putting in as little effort as possible. The pitfalls of which should be kind of obvious for a viewer, but again, let's talk about it for the actual creator themselves, who is doing this process of automating this slop they're making that makes them so much money. If you don't want to make slop, you will find yourself continuously getting less views compared to others who spend time gaming the algorithm to favor their content, or openly just stealing content instead of spending time making better and more interesting content. And funny thing about this script, right here at this point, I actually originally intended to put in a clip of Pyro Cynical and him talking about his slop content a couple of months ago. But it turns out he's actually had a bit of a change of heart. And over on his infamous Pyro Live channel, which was well known for being slop, he literally said so himself, he's trying to do better.
The Slop channel, at least for the next couple of weeks, will not be uploading regular Slop.
No jokes, no irony. That is absolutely awesome. Dude, I fucking commend that. However, it sucks to see that now he's getting less views because of it, which is the exact problem I'm trying to highlight here. Pyro Live is now breaking 500,000 views an upload with a lot less regularity. While I'm sure he's spending more money on both editing and the actual time to plan out or script these videos, because, you know, he's not just reading some article that he found from some hardworking writer or blogger who probably would rather you just read the article yourself.
It's not going to be daily story that was stole from Dexerto or, you know, just some other garbage that you'll forget after watching.
They sure would love to get that banner ad money instead of the YouTuber who's just reading their stuff. I'm not a huge Pyro fan, but I do consider his Far Cry 3 video to be the Far Cry 3 video on YouTube, so I certainly know that he is capable of making good content when he wants to, and I wish him the best of luck on this journey. And I have sympathy for how it must feel to see other content creators putting in less effort and getting rewarded for it.
How the hell is Asmongold making over $1 million a month by basically watching a video and raising his eyebrows sometimes? I want in on that pie, okay? Is that too much to ask? Well, sure.
It sucks being the guy trying to actually do things the right way.
Is his house getting repossessed or something? What's happening? Like, why is all the furniture gone? He's too busy looking in front of the camera recording videos, so he's probably got someone that's going in there stealing his furniture slowly. He doesn't even notice.
But in the long run, I actually do think it's going to pay off for him and for all the creators who try to do things the right way. I'd love to hear some comments about this down in the comment section, because I'm not sure if I'm just crazy, but it seems like the last few years there has been this shift where increasingly the fan bases of streamers and the chats and the interactions, the people who are really getting close to them, it's less and less made up of actual fans of their content and more made up of other streamers, hopefuls wanting to ride their coattails into their own degree of stardom. The consumer base of low-effort content and streaming content seems to be made up more and more of those who want to make low-effort content and who want to be streamers, all in hopes of gleaning some degree of clout from those who have made it before them. Hell, Ice Poseidon's entire shtick was just humiliating the hopefuls who came to ride his coattails. Sometimes deservedly, though, which is when it got really funny. But I have a funny feeling that this kind of shift is only going to continue. Despite the increasing numbers today, I have a funny feeling that these slop content creators will increasingly find themselves surrounded by a very insular fan base who want to copy their shtick more and more than actual fans. And the reason for that is simple. Their content does not provide value. I know Charlie might have his diehard fans who truly do appreciate him, but let's be honest here. The views he pulls are not from the value of his incredible content, reading an article written by somebody else and occasionally throwing in a weird, out-of-place anecdote about his butthole. These creators gave up on having a true thesis behind their content years ago, and hide behind the excuse of, well, it's still a way I can feed my family and make a living, so I may as well do it. And there's a degree to which I kind of respect that, but we have to go into the next section here too. Why is this bad for YouTube as a platform? There was a video I made about a year and a half ago where I talked about TikTok, and what I said about social media platforms then still very much applies now. TikTok will die the same way that any other social media site dies, because a general consensus is reached that the content is bad. Can't believe I haven't found any better music. I haven't found a better one. It's great. You know, the jazz really works for my vibe. When YouTube becomes a site that's no longer worth going to, the site will die, either because the new generation of content creators goes to a different platform, or the new generation is simply smothered out of existence by an endless tidal wave of slop that YouTube seems to think is way better to push on its viewers and in its recommended tab than like new and interesting creators. Either way, YouTube will eventually fail. And before anyone says that I'm just being a hater, I do want to take the time to acknowledge my role in this as a consumer. Two slop creators whom have made better content in the past, but definitively fall into the category now, are Atozy and August the Duck. And I watch quite a bit of them. And I want to acknowledge, it's not their fault that I will sit and watch, or click on in the first place at least, a 14th update video on the pink sauce lady, but I can certainly have a degree of bitterness toward YouTube as a platform for the fact that a 14th video on the pink sauce lady is the best thing that they can think to put in my recommended feed. This is truly the best you have. Like, forget about algorithms for a second. You don't have any humans on the platform looking for new and interesting things to show your viewers. You don't have an entire massive catalog of older, good content that you can't show to people. None of that. Just a 14th video on the pink sauce lady. That's the best thing that I can find in my endless scroll. That's the best you've got. If that's true, the site's dead. So let's hope the pendulum swings back soon before my internet gets shut off. So thank you guys so much for watching. You have been amazing. I have been Richard. And I will see you in the next one.